Hi Karen, how are you doing?
It has been a day. I've been looking at long-term plans, short-term plans, so much stuff. It's always fun being an entrepreneur. What about for you?
Well, I have a killer subject for today. And
Oh,
this is something
okay.
I've been teaching for over a decade at the ABCs of Starting a Business class workshop. Over and over, I've thrown this in, and people, entrepreneurs, look at me like I have tentacles and I'm talking crazy talk.
I
Then
think I know
they
it.
start realizing, oh, he has a point. And
I think I know what you're talking about.
it's something that when you start a business, you ignore it. Yes, you
Hmm.
totally ignore the subject, but it's when you start a business is critical to implement, and it's an exit strategy. And I know
Oh my God.
I've heard it time and time again. Wait, I'm just launching a business and getting it started, and now you're talking to me about exiting?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and I think this is the thing. Okay. So it was what I was thinking you were saying. I think saying exiting is a strong word that gets people on edge.
Right.
But it's not just about exiting or finalizing or
No.
closing down. It's most business owners, and I'm going to say within the first maybe 5 years of their business, they're still trying to think about next month, next six
Right.
months, next year. They're not thinking about how is this going to look 10 years from now, 15 years from now, 20 years from now. What
Exactly.
is it I want to create? So we take exit and turn it into, well, what's the long-term strategy?
Right.
It gets a little less scary, but it's still an exit
It's
strategy.
still an exit. Yeah, I call it that because you got to know a target to go to. And I'll give you an example. My first business, no exit strategy. I was too busy making sales, go, go, go. It was all in the tech space. Tech bubble burst. Guess what? So did the business. Done. So my exit strategy was close the doors because there was no
Hmm.
business. Second business, when I created the business plan before I launched it, I had an exit strategy. And my exit strategy was I'm going to build this business to either be sold or someone's going to acquire it. Guess what? I have a different focus in my business on the second one. I have a target to go to, put in systems, hire the right people. Totally different than the first one. When that day was going to come, I was thinking 15, 20 years from now. Well, sticking to that philosophy, I'm going to sell it or get it acquired one day. I built a business, not an income stream. I mean, I know we have talked about that before. An income stream is you have
Yep.
a business, you're you, your spouse, your kids are in the business, you have money coming in, you have a good lifestyle for decades, and then you decide to retire. No one wants your business because, well, you're the business and you built an income stream. Built
Hmm.
a business, you have systems in place, processes, you have operating procedures, you have staffing. You can go on vacation, the business still goes on, and you don't have to worry about it. That's a business. So,
Right.
first one, income stream. Second one, business.
And I was gonna say, because I have dealt with, and ladies, I love you. I really love the ladies, but
Me
this is
too.
the number one thing. This is the number one thing I hear. I'm building a legacy for my
Oh, Lord, let's talk about this.
family. I'm sorry, because this is like that's their exit strategy. I'm building a legacy for my kids, a legacy for my family, a legacy.
So, that was one of the many teach classes I taught for many different organizations was your exit planning. Legacy is one. That's passing
Hmm.
your business down to kids or grandkids. Great. 8% of all businesses are deemed legacy, whereas a kid or a family member takes it over, immediate family, not far out. Out of the 8% that say, my kid takes it over, great, 8%. 2% of that survives. Why? They don't have the drive you did. They might. And those are going to be the two percenters that win and create the legacy, the true legacy. To get it to 3 generations, your odds are so not in your favor.
No, they're not. And people don't realize.
Yeah. Two generations, passing it to your kid, high six, you can do it, good success rate. To their kid, you just set up almost a recipe for disaster. But there are exceptions, so let's get that out of the way. There's
Yeah.
legacy companies like Ford.
Mhm. Walmart.
Walmart's a legacy company. They got the whole
And,
family involved.
right. But here's the thing. So where I'm seeing it, and I just wanted to bring this, I think it's a lot to do with the people that come to me for their business. They're
Hmm.
always talking about creating legacy. They're always talking about building a future. They're always talking about, well, I can't stand to work for someone else, so I figured I'd do this and build a legacy for my family so my kids always get what they need. Da, da, da. I know I even did that a lot at the beginning
Yeah.
too. Okay. You can build a legacy company with that intent for an exit strategy. But this is, and I'm going to use my company. I started as an LLC. I built that up. Then I went into a corporation. My next goal is at a certain point, I'm going to become a different type of corporation with boards and a system that sets up that allows my system to be franchised out and
Mhm.
become the hub. Is that is creating a legacy for my family, especially with the ways I have it set up with trust, blah, 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 lots of complicated stuff. But it went from a little old me just doing this and that, want my kids to have a better life, to okay, so how can I establish systems framework, standard operating procedures, payouts, and cohesive training to scale and grow so it becomes a legacy company, framing it around like the Walmarts, the Fords, the GMs.
Yeah. When I talk about legacy, it's passing it to an immediate heir.
Yeah.
There are legacy companies out there, that's what it's called, but the next owner or operator was not a family member. Legacy exiting, it's immediate family member, the heir, your heirs.
Right. But unless you're setting it up in a way that it becomes something that is a functioning business without someone from your family taking the helm,
Right.
it's not a legacy because you're just hoping they're going to love it just as much as you.
Yeah. And that's why I set up my second company to be acquired or sold. But I had that goal in mind, and all my employees knew it. We are all on the same page, same mission, same everything. So we built it towards that. And that's why I'm talking about entrepreneurs. What is your exit strategy? Because one day you do want to retire and probably get the sweat equity out that you put in to this business. And if it's just you and your spouse or maybe kid, and the kid really doesn't want to take it over, now what?
Uh, I I actually just thought of something really terrifying, and it was a conversation I had with someone last week, and they've been in business for oh my gosh, I was thinking they were saying like 25, 27 years, entrepreneur, doing okay, bit of a mom and pop type situation, not past one brick and mortar, but they're doing okay. They're paying bills, they're having a decent life, they have employees, all this kind of stuff. And I was like, oh, so what's the goal? What, are you looking at retiring? Like I said, they've been doing this for 25, 27 years, and they
Mhm.
didn't start it when they were 18. So I only guess their age, but they're at least in their 60s, maybe 70s. And they looked at me so seriously and like, I didn't think I would ever. Why would I can't retire? They have no expectation to stop working until they're done. And at that point, I said, so what happens to your business there? And the silence I was met with, pure silence. They had no clue.
And that's why when you're talking to business owners, it's a tough conversation at the beginning because you don't want to be in that scenario decades later. And I've talked to many businesses like that, especially during COVID. So I was getting calls left and right. I'm trying to sell my business. No one wants to buy it. And I always ask them, tell me about your business. Well, it's me and my spouse, and this is it. And we've been doing it for 30 years. It makes money, blah, blah, blah. I go, no one wants it. You built an income stream. What was your exit strategy? Never had one.
And there's nothing wrong with a business being centered around a person or an identity
No.
or someone standing by it. I mean, there are businesses out there that started with a person in mind. And that person isn't the head of that business anymore, but it's still that personality and that
Oh,
identity.
yeah.
And it has grown from there. But when you don't have a plan from day to day, let alone 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, an exit plan, you're not setting yourself up at all.
Mm. I had one client in the signage business. She goes, it's time for me to retire. Healthy business, 20 some employees. They have more work than they know what to do with. And I'm sitting down, well, we got to put your ducks in a row. As we're talking, I'm like, wait a minute. Did anyone ever prepare you for exit? And she's like, no, why? Everything, all her ducks were actually in a row already.
Mhm.
She goes, I've been going to a mastermind group for 20 years. I thought this is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
I said, well, who do you want to sell it to? Who would you sell it to? And she named off three of her competitors that she's good friends with, competitors. And I said, how fast you want to go? She goes, I'm ready to go now. I go, set up lunch and just introduce it as an idea to them and see what they say. She called me back 2 days later. I met with the one guy, introduced the idea. He pulled out his checkbook and goes, how much you want it? We already did a valuation on it. She got way above the valuation and she got a
Nice.
check at lunch because she was building a business to exit and she didn't know it.
So I, so when I just decided, I woke up this morning, I'm going to have my own business.
Yeah.
I'm going to, I don't know, I'm going to sell stickers. I'm coming up with something random just to say it doesn't matter how random you say it doesn't have to be huge employee businesses, it doesn't have to have huge conglomerate. What are three things that I need to be thinking of in order to have an exit strategy from day one?
I'd say your first thing is probably, okay, what do you want to do with the business? Do you want to just keep it as an income stream, pass it down to your kids, get it sold, acquired by someone, or just you want to just close the dang doors, which is usually never on anyone's mind because they don't want to do that. But this is how you're going to build your business. Which direction are you going to take? So let's say you don't have kids. Well, that knocks out legacy.
Hmm.
Pretty simple.
Yeah.
But now it's how you're going to build the business, how, when you're going to put employees in, when are you going to put systems and all those operating systems in place. And it really will help you get more focused on your business too. And anything you do, is it going towards your goal? So let's say your goal is to retire and sell the business. Wow, that's a great goal. How can we get you there? If
Hmm.
you don't know, you get to the retirement age and go, oh, I want to sell, but you don't have a plan in place.
I think one of the first things you have to do is you have to make sure you have frameworks in your business.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you're not getting frameworks in your business from day one, you don't have a business, you have a hobby.
Yeah. It's shocking how many businesses will go. And on one of my businesses, I was only focused on sales, but my marketing, I worked on the marketing and the messaging so hard. I got the sales. I didn't have a website. I didn't have a business card. I didn't have any of that stuff. I was focusing on selling and delivering. And then I started putting in deeper frameworks on how that process worked. Then, almost a year later, I did the website and everything. Why? I knew where I wanted to go, knew where I wanted to take this business. And that's what I
Yeah.
focused on versus, hey, let me get all this stuff and then give it a shot.
Yeah. And so have a plan. Like, is this something you're going to do for the next 50 years?
Yeah.
What happens is, and I, I'm going to bring up something kind of sad, but it has to be said because this is why you need an exit plan from day one. Because we've seen this, I've seen this a lot in the business world. We have someone who comes up with a great idea. They have a great plan, they make a great product, they manufacture, and somehow it goes viral. We've seen some really crazy stuff go viral. But at this point, they're still kind of just winging it because they don't want to. And unfortunately, something crazy happens and they pass away.
Mhm.
end up in the hospital, jail. There's all these different things. This is why having an exit plan early is important because you can't guarantee what you'll be doing in 5 years.
It's true. I mean, I know I've seen it too. Next thing you know, the spouse has to take over the business and doesn't have any passion towards it, doesn't know what to do in it, and they
Yeah.
try to sell it. Well, they can't because there's no systems in place, there's no employees. It was a great income stream. There was no plan, so no one wanted to touch it.
Right.
So they just have to close the doors.
I'm really curious. How many business entrepreneurs do you think actually put frameworks and plans into the business from day one?
Minimal, very minimal, because I've tried it, teaching it. And that was always a question. It was like, okay, how many of you have an exit strategy? What do you think your business is going to do in, say, 10, 20, 30 years when you say, I'm done? And they all just gave me that look like, what do you mean? I'm going to work in it forever. Someone will buy it. That's not a plan. That's a hope.
That's a hope. That's a dream.
They didn't. And it's like, no, here's why it's critical. It's how you're going to build it too. Because building for your kids, and now say you got your kids in your business, like plumbers, tradespeople have a lot of their kids in the family businesses, and the kid wants to take it over. Great. Well, they're building it so the kid can take it over. That's a total different
Mhm.
way of building it than someone you want to sell it or be it acquired.
Well, it's like I think I told you about this story like earlier. A Someone built a bakery, and it was like baked goods from their home country, and it became very popular. Everyone wanted to eat there. It really grew. It's still a one place person. Their grandkid took an interest in it and wanted to learn how to do the
Mhm.
recipes, how to run the business, how to read the book, how to deal with everything. And their grandkid kept going there and doing all the stuff from like 10 or 11. They were obsessed. And when the grandmother passed away, the children or their parents thought they could just sell the business.
Mhm.
But the grandmother had actually willed it to the grandchild because they were there in, day out, after school, on the weekends, on holidays, learning
Mhm.
how to run the business. So the children who thought they were going to get this huge windfall got cut out because that's a true legacy business. That
Mhm.
person wanted to make sure it went to someone who was just as passionate as they were.
That's it. And grandma saw it. So she was
Grandma
building it
saw it.
towards that. So everything she did was the systems and everything to hand it over to the grandkid. And now the grandkid was prepared for it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know how many times I've worked with entrepreneurs that have been, they're now approaching in their 60s, been in their business since they were 18, making great money, uh, no business and no exit strategy and no savings.
Yeah.
And
And it's like
since they've been paying themselves, no Social Security,
right. No retirement funds,
nothing.
no nothing. It's never been set up. So, and just a little adult reality. When you first start in your business, the first few months, they're never as lucrative. I'll tell you about a couple of percent of it. There's the odd one or two things that happen all of a sudden explode, and you're like, I did this overnight. Wow.
Yes.
That is not the majority. That is not the rule. That is the rarity.
Mm-mm.
Life isn't going to be easy at the beginning. But if you take the time to set these things up so it is planned out, it gets easier and easier. I would rather write a framework when I'm only dealing with two people than trying to write it when I have 50.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I just thought this Netflix comes to mind. So they built the business first to compete against Blockbuster. That was their number one thing. They were thinking one day we'll buy Blockbuster. So that was
Mhm.
their plan, their exit strategy. When they saw Blockbuster did not want to buy them, they said, great, we're going to go after you even harder head on, and we're going to get acquired by a bigger company. So now they changed their exit strategy. Blockbuster went away. They started realizing we are now a dominant force in the market. We are now going to start buying other companies to get in our arsenal, change their exit strategy again. Now,
Yeah, it
they
doesn't have
just
to be the
bought,
same one.
do you just see this? They just bought Warner Brothers.
Yep. Yeah, and I think what it was their initial goal was to collaborate with Blockbuster, so
Yeah,
they handled the delivery side and Blockbuster handled
yeah.
the
They
in-store
wanted to be
side. So
merged.
their initial they wanted to have a partnership. They wanted this
Yeah.
collaboration. And Blockbusters told them, no, no one's going to want to have movies delivered to their house. You're going to fail. You suck, kind of thing. And they had a, we'll teach you moment.
Right. Well, look at them now. They don't deliver movies.
Well, they do. They just do it digitally, not
It's digitally now,
physically.
yes. Yeah, they
But
got it figured out, but this is a company who came in with a plan and they executed towards that plan. That's what we're trying to say to you. It's like, have something. What is your goal? Because you build a company differently per what your target is. Like I said, my second company was to sell or to be acquired. I knew I was going to exit, but I didn't know it was going to come in 18 months because we blew up the company so well. But we had all the systems, processes in place. When another company came in, they were like, we want the whole thing
yeah,
because it was already up and running and that would be a good addition to their business. So I said, great. I sold my URL to a different company because they had that name and sold the whole business to this company. It was great. I exited. Now I was like, now what? Oh yeah, start company number three.
and here's the thing: if you already have a company and you haven't thought about your exit strategy, here's a huge news flash for you. It's not too late. Go ahead and set your exit strategy up now. Do you want to build a legacy? Do
Right?
you want to build a one that you sell? Do you want to build something you retire from? Do you want to build something that you cash out all your inventory and assets and just live on the money and no one else has? Because that is also an exit strategy where you can just sell off
I've
all your
done that.
assets.
That was in one of my companies. I built it towards getting it acquired by someone, and I knew who was going to acquire it. Economic downturn hit. Of course, they're not buying companies now. So I started
Mhm.
looking at the pieces of the company and realized my pieces of my business were greater than the whole and sold it off piece by piece and made more money that way.
Yeah.
And I exited that way.
So if you've had your business for 2 years, 10 years, 20 years, and you don't have an exit plan, grab a pen and paper. What is your exit plan?
Yeah.
What is the end goal? Where are you going?
You
And
want
then
to
start
sell it?
figuring out.
You want to sell it to someone? You want it to merge so you maybe you acquire companies or merge with another company and form a different one. Pass it to your kids, legacy, or just die in your business. That is an option. Or close the doors.
Too
It
many people
is
do
an
that.
option, unfortunately. Or are you going to have a competitor just take it over? Or your employees? Because I've worked with companies where we've had set it up because the guy said it, listen, I'm going to retire in 10 years, come hell or high water. I want my employees to take it over. So we put in plans and systems in place starting 10 years out where every employee was getting a piece of ownership. So by the end of the 10th year, he got his money out and they all own it.
Yeah. There's so many different ways.
There's so many
So
ways.
I'm curious. I think what the comment needs to be on this one is how long do you want to stay in your business from today?
Yeah. How will
Is
you
this a business?
close it, exit it, leave it?
How are you going to exit? What's your plan? I want to know what's your dream? What's your goal? Are you going to be the 83-year-old still running around the world trying to run your business? There's a lot of that.
Right. Or do you want to sell it and go on a beach and sip Mai Tais and chill? What is it?
What is it? What's your goal? Where do you see yourself? And if you don't have one now, guess what? Grab that pen and paper and start making
It's it. This reminds me of
it.
something too. Because I mean, we do have an accountability group, and this is one of those
Mhm.
things where we've heard it too. It's like, I don't know what I want to do with my business in 10, 20, 30 years, but I know I won't be
Yeah.
working on it. Well, great. Let's make that part of your accountability that you're holding yourself to and we will just check in and hear it from you on how is it coming with your exit strategy plan. You have one. And most of the time, you've heard it too. I don't have a plan.
I don't have a plan. Well, as long as it pays the bills, I think one of my favorite ones I hear from a lot of very small businesses, the ones that just started. Well, I just need to make sure I can pay my bills this month.
Yeah, we get it. But you still should have a plan. You need a goal to get to.
Yes.
So let's hear those comments. What is your exit strategy down in the comments below? And
Oh,
if you need a little help with it, I mean, I would say definitely get into the accountability group. I think we're going to throw the link in the show notes, right?
yeah, we'll always throw that link in now. Now we've
And
launched it.
it's also on our website. The time is now. If you're thinking, hey, I got these little, I want to call it Swiss cheese in your business, because every business has Swiss cheese, those holes. This could be one of them. It is one of them. It's a big one. Get in the accountability group and let's get that solved for you.
Awesome. I think this was a well-needed topic, Steve. Thanks for bringing this one up.
Yeah,
Now
I
everyone
see
thinks
it
about
too
it.
much. And
Yeah, me too.
maybe we'll do another episode digging deep on like one of the plans. Like, how do you do this? Where do I
Yeah.
start? Because we gave you the
Yeah.
generalities of multiple exit ways. You got to find the one that's best for you and your business.
Yeah. And I think the one thing that I just want to stress even more on this is when you have that end goal in place, that end goal can change, but it is proven. There's so many studies out there. I could probably find 50 studies about it. That when you have the end goal in place, the growth of your business is greater than when you don't have an end goal.
It's true. Because you know where you're going with the business.
Yeah,
Not,
you have
I'm
a
just
map.
making money.
And too many, I'm making money. Money good. I'm happy with money.
Yeah.
Great. As long as the money keeps coming, right?
So you get sick or you get in a car accident and you're in hospital for 3 months. What happens to your business? Well, no income.
Yeah. Okay, well, let us know in the comments. And I'm curious. I'm actually wondering how many of you do have end goals.
Well, let's
And if
hear
you
it.
don't have an end goal and you're a little scared to say it, you can message us too. We don't bite too hard unless you, I know Steve will if you ask him nice enough.
I always ask before I bite. But yeah, let's hear it. Throw in the comments. Take a look at that accountability group. Get your business moving towards a target.
And don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll catch you next week on the next episode.
Bye.
Okay? Thanks for joining us on the Tea and Coffee Hub podcast today. We hope you enjoyed today's conversation and it left you inspired, equipped, and ready to take your next step, whether that's in life, business, or maybe both.
And don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss future episodes, and connect with us online and in person. Share your thoughts in the comments section. Until next time,
Keep sipping,
keep growing,
take action,
and stop making